very good evening to you on this 26th day of February 2024. Many thanks for making time to be with us on this particular day. This is the spotlight here on Lookuptv on a day that Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has of course called on local leaders and of course local authorities across the counties here in the country to ramp up their efforts and of course to join hands in trying to ensure that they eradicate the menace of drug and substance abuse. This follows the government's approach in trying to do away with the sale of illicit brew, which most recently, of course, killed several people in the great county of Kirinyaga. That, among many other stories that we've prepared for you this particular night. First of all, let's have a look at what's making headlines.
Tonight on the Spotlight, National Treasury CS Njuguna Ndung'u says the government is planning to borrow an additional 703 billion in the financial year 2023-2024 to aid in the completion of government projects. 121,391 candidates have applied for varsity placement, says Education CS Ezekiel Machege, as he directs an extension of the application deadline. And step up in the fight against substance abuse. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua questions the silence of the leaders in the coastal region.
Now, welcome to the program. I am Ian Keitani, and our sign language interpreter is Josephine Oko. Let's get going now. And National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Professor Njuguna Ndung'u has revealed that the government is planning to borrow an additional 703 billion shillings in the financial year 2023-2024. He says this is in aid to, to help in the completion of government projects. As Mevin Gitembe now reports, Ndung'u says that the government paid 1.2 trillion in the financial year 2023-2024 total national debt and has laid plans to pay the outstanding amount, which now stands at 11.48 trillion in the next 10 years.
Appearing before the National Assembly Committee on Public Debt and Privatization, Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury and Economic Planning Njuguna Ndung'u has revealed that the government is planning to borrow 703 billion shillings in the financial year 2024-2025 in order to finance the government projects.
Current stock of public debt and publicly guaranteed debt stands at 11.248 trillion, and which is 69.7% of GDP in nominal terms. But the current present value of public debt to GDP is actually 67.2%. The difference between the two is actually that the present value takes into account the maturity profile of the debt.
The government paid 1.2 trillion in the financial year 2023-2024 of the total national debt, Ndung'u adding that the government has laid plans to pay the outstanding debt within 10 years.
Then in June 2022, it went up to 917. June 2023, it went up to 1.2 trillion. In June 2024, as a result of the liability management, it will come down by the amount that we have done, the $1.5. So in the supplementary 2, the debt service will come down because of the liability management that we have undertaken.
It is a blow to the government and the country at large after Ndung'u announced that it has lost several investors, the CS saying that the government seeks to have changes in the tax policy in order to ease the burden on debt on the country.
This and resolve this through the market, and the market was quite clear. And for us to get the best pricing, because essentially the market is still brutal out there, it can't give you long term, because long term is still looking. I mean, if the market believed the Fed would lower interest rates, they would actually have gone to 10 years. But the market cannot even go beyond 6.5 years.
Mevin Gitembe, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Let's move forward now, and Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has called on counties to channel revenue collected from alcohol drinks licenses into building and equipping rehabilitation centers. Speaking in Mombasa on Monday, Gachagua called on coast leaders to step up in the fight against drug and substance abuse as he questioned their absence at the illicit alcohol and drug eradication conference in Mombasa.
With the national government stepping up its efforts in the fight against drug and substance abuse, including the sale of illicit brew, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua today led several CSs in deliberating on how to enhance the fight against the menace in Mombasa County. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua blamed local leaders over silence in regards to the menace of drug abuse, while cautioning local authorities over the rise in cases of drug abuse.
Commanders, please, let's do the work we need to do. Umesikia viongozi hapa wanalia. You are sleeping on the job. Sasa mambo ya ODPP, we are fixed. Please do what you need to do.
In a bid to counter the menace, Interior CS Kithure Kindiki cautioned security officers who aid the sale of illicit brew, calling them to action to ensure the war against drug abuse is won.
And this happens under your watch, or you receive money to look the other way. Why should we keep you in that role even for an hour? And I want to assure you, in the name of God and in the name of the Constitution of our country, we will get hold of you. We will neutralize those efforts before you destroy the country.
The CS further noted that as opposed to how it has been, officers implicated in aiding drug and substance abuse will not be transferred, but will rather face the full force of the law.
We are going to change the country's transfer policy. Any official in the law enforcement and public service space who through action or inaction contributes to the death of Kenyans, through negligence, they allow dangerous criminals, organized criminals, including drug barons, to have their way to access the public. That officer will not be transferred, as you've said, Your Excellency.
County governments have been called upon to use revenue from registration of entertainment joints and liquor stores to set up rehabilitation centers.
I agree county governments should use the fees that they collect from licensing alcoholic outlets to mitigate against addiction and to rehabilitate and reintegrate those that are affected.
Indeed, it is a menace that must be eradicated regardless of the means that the government will, of course, choose to approach the menace from. Televangelist David Kariuki Ngari, alias Gakuyu, has been charged with conspiring to defraud members of the public over 1 billion shillings in the pretext that he was able to invest in real estate and the money market. Ngari, who is the founder of Ekeza Sacco, was arraigned Monday before Milimani Senior Resident Magistrate Ben Ekubi. He denied 12 counts of conspiracy to defraud and obtain money through pretenses and was released on a cash bail of 10 million shillings. He was also ordered to surrender his passport to the court.
I'll grant the first accused person bond of bail in the following terms. A, the accused person may be granted a bond of Kenya shillings 20 million, a bond of Kenya shillings 20 million with 2 sureties of a similar amount. B, alternative to A is that the accused person may be granted a cash bail of Kenya shillings 10 million, so a cash bail of 10 million shillings, and then he'll provide 2 contact persons. Yeah, so 10 million Kenya shillings with 2 contact persons will be examined by the court. And the further directive is that one of the contact person must be an employee working with the government or public office. And then the C, the first accused person to deposit his passport as a prerequisite for being admitted to bond. And further also, and I think it's in the ordinary, he should not interfere with any investigation that is still pending or ongoing. And then, of course, I'll also issue warrants in respect to the second accused.
Now, Basic Education Principal Secretary Belio Kipsang, appearing before the Departmental Committee on Education, had a hard time in explaining to the National Departmental Committee on Education as the members of the committee demanded to know how capitation given to schools translates to the quality of education and the standards of infrastructure. Brana Moai tells us more.
It was a heated debate at the Departmental Committee on Education as PS for Basic Education Belio Kipsang came forward to defend his docket on the issue of capitation for schools as the ministries try to justify additional funding for their pockets in the coming financial year. The issue of figures in schools that have been inflated causing government billions of shillings were put on the table.
But the actual number of students in that school are 800. You have 400 here. Kariuki has 800 children in school. You release money for 400. What do you expect Kariuki to do, and you want him to deal with 100% transition? But the ones receiving capitation is 15,000. What is happening with the rest of the money? And we are budgeting with the actual enrollment. We would want to have a single source of truth, the Kenya Education Management Information System. And as government, that's the direction we are going to take in terms of leveraging on technology. We must be able to fund a student that really exists. And we can only be able to know that this student exists if they are in record.
Capitation and quality assurance taking center stage, with the ministry being put on the spot for failing to ensure that the details given by schools are correct to ensure proper facilitation.
The school-based assessment now start from grade 3, the Kenya Early Years Assessment. And Examination Council has also assigned an assessment number to our kids from grade 3 all the way to grade 6. So for children who do not have birth certificates, we are also going to use the assessment number so that we can capture them. So that our gray area, which we are now going to deal with, is grade 1 and grade 2. And we are now working very closely with the Examination Council so that we also do not have schools who inflate their numbers in assessment by using the NEMI system. And we are looking forward with the national registration system, with the Maisha number now that will be issued at birth, then some of these challenges will be addressed.
The committee also wanted to know how the ministry seeks to handle the issue of inclusivity, where more disadvantaged schools seem to be getting the short end of the stick.
On that note, we take a short breather. We'll be back in a moment. Don't go away.
Hii kazi ya maji haikuangi rahisi. Saa zingine deliveries ni mingi na natembea safari ndefu na chupa za maji. Wakati ingine nachelewa kufikishia customer anakasirika hadi anakataa kunilipa. Huwa inanishukishia morale ya job sana. Lakini tangu nishinde hii tuk na tatu, deliveries zimekuwa kibao, teke na rahisi. Hadi customer ananiongezea za macho. Kazi yangu imejipa mbaya.
Kila Jumapili unaweza vuna hadi $500,000 ama tuk ndani ya Tatua Bonanza Live na zawadi zinginezo. Vuna chapa leo na Tatua 3. Ingia kwa M-Pesa paybill number 150 account, weka namba zako 3 za bahati, fuatiza na neno Look. Amount ni shilingi 10 hadi shilingi 1,000.
Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. BCLB number 000898.
If you want to have a proper outlook of the economy, then you have to speak to the wheels and gears of the integral businesses in the country.
And I want to be able to make the youths and everybody coming up in Kenya know that this is here locally.
Men and women in the thick of the bust of markets rising and falling, fighting to make the business decisions stick.
I've always lived in my career that I can never be late.
You need to train by yourself. You need to practice by yourself. Then from there you can compose yourself and give kind of services like this.
On season 2 of the Captain's Arena, we seek the inside of the minds, predict the shift in the markets, get inspiration to start and make sense of it all.
Just watch what everybody else is doing and just make sure you're giving back to the society.
Oof. This is the Captain's Arena.
Tere, mambo ni mawili, kufikisha, kumwaga na kurudi. Kulala ni mwaka mpya.
Muka we mse. Nini mbaya? Wewe kwani wani vile dereva anaendesha gari vibaya? Lazima tususe. Anaendesha gari na kwa simu the whole time hata angalia barabara. Mamiseni dereva tusimame. Wewe dereva wewe. Mwaka iliyopita peke yake watu zaidi ya 3,000 walipoteza maisha yao barabarani kwa sababu ya tabia kama hizo. Hautatuangamiza tukiona.
Naomba msamaha, tampeleka vizuri.
Si wameomba msamaha. Sasa tuende tusafiri kwa mwendo wa aste.
Dere Smart hufikisha abiria salama. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na NTSA kwa ushirikiano na European Union.
Now, thank you very much for staying with us. We continue with matters education now, and Education CS Ezekiel Machagi has said that only 121,391 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education candidates who scored C+ and above have applied for university placement. In a statement on Monday, Machagi said the figure represents 60.8% of the total number of candidates who scored university entry grades.
121,391 Kenya Certificate of Education secondary candidates who scored a mean grade of C+ and above have applied for university placement. This is according to Cabinet Secretary of Education Ezekiel Machogu. Machogu said the figure represents 60.8% of the total number of candidates who scored university entry grades. He said that the Ministry of Education projects that at least 86% of 2023 KCSE candidates will apply for university placement through Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Service. The remaining 14%, according to Machogu, are expected to seek placement in universities not listed in Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Service Module 2 programs or institutions of higher learning in other countries. Based on the application behavior of 2022 KCSE examination candidates who obtained a mean grade of C+ and above, it is projected that 86% of the 2023 KCSE candidates with C+ and above will apply for placement. This comes after Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Service extended the placement application deadline indefinitely. He also urged all students whose mean grades between C and E to apply for desired diplomas, craft certificates, or artisan programs in TVET institutions. Maureen Bosire, Lookuptv.
Now, Taita Taveta County Assembly's Deputy Speaker Anselm Modime has been charged with fraud over irregular expenditure on a 2022 trip to Zanzibar. Modime was arraigned before Mombasa Anti-Corruption Court on Monday, following his arrest on Sunday. He faced abuse of office charges for clearing 17 million expenditure to facilitate what the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission described as a bonding trip.
On 28th of November, the year 2022, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, through its lower coast regional office in Mombasa, received a complaint through of an allegation of corruption and misappropriation of public funds at Taita Taveta County Assembly. This was as a result of impressed advance to the Speaker, Clerk, 21 members of County Assembly, and 4 other officers for travelling to Zanzibar for a bonding trip in the financial year 2022-2023. The Commission commenced investigations on the complaint and established the following key findings: that a total amount of 17 Kenyan million shillings was utilized for the alleged trip, out of which 9 Kenyan million shillings was directly paid to the organizers for the conference and travel arrangements, and the balance of 8 Kenyan million shillings was paid as impressed advance to 30 officers who were to attend the training in Zanzibar. That the County Assembly of Taita Taveta used forged travel clearance letters purportedly issued by the Principal Secretary Ministry of Devolution as authority to travel to Zanzibar. That out of 30 officers who were impressed to travel to Zanzibar, 25 officials traveled and spent 5 nights in Zanzibar and 1 night locally, as opposed to 6 nights in Zanzibar, resulting into a loss of 1 Kenyan million shillings. That 4 officials did not travel and that 1 officer traveled for 3 nights in the city. This resulted into a loss of 1.18 Kenyan million shillings. That officers delegated for the training were paid full daily subsistence allowance while in Zanzibar for 5 nights, yet Bonfire Adventures through WSP UK had paid accommodation at Marijan Beach Resort and Spa Hotel at $132 per night for the same officers while attending the conference at the hotel. This resulted into loss of public funds to the tune of Kenyan shillings 3,965,889. The Commission further compiled and forwarded file with findings and recommendation to ODPP, who concurred with the proposed charges against the following officials of Taita Taveta County Assembly: the Clerk, who is Gadiel Munyambo Maganga, and the Deputy Speaker Taita Taveta County Assembly, Anselmo Dimechao. Ruga Ival, Lookuptv.
Now, the Ministry of Interior and Internal Security let's check that again. And the Ministry of Interior and National Administration today met with development partners in Nairobi to chart a way forward on how they can collaborate in initiatives that enhance citizen participation, peace building, and conflict resolution. Internal Security and National Administration Principal Secretary Raymond Omolo say the challenges that the country faces from evolving security threats demand continuous vigilance and unwavering resolve, a need he noted requires greater collaboration and support from development partners.
Broadcasts to the world where...
In a bid to enhance efficiency and cooperation, the Ministry of Interior and National Administration recently convened a meeting with various development partners at Nairobi's Serena Hotel, focusing to align national priorities and plans with particular attention to institutional reforms within the security sector.
It's clear and I think serves as a threat.
PS Raymond Omolo emphasized the need for comprehensive reforms beyond mere capacity building for officers. He underscored the significance of addressing gaps within the National Police Service and the Kenya Prison Service, referencing reports presented by former Chief Justice David Maraga.
The institutional reforms within the security sector. So whether it's the reforms within the National Police Service, the reforms within the Kenya Prison Service, and generally the reforms within the coordination of national government administration. At the end of last year, the Chief Justice Emeritus Maraga presented a report, and that report had a raft of recommendations, almost 600 of those recommendations that needs to be implemented for making a difference within the 3 sectors or the 3 services. And we've been able to break down those recommendations and prioritize what needs to be implemented immediately, what needs to be implemented in the medium term, and also what will take 2 to 3 years to actualize. And while at it, we have also been then able to isolate a few of those recommendations that would require policy guidance and direction from the leadership, the top leadership in government.
Omolo elaborated on the prioritization of actionable measures, ensuring a strategic approach to implementation, and called for greater collaboration, especially in initiatives aimed at peace building, conflict resolution, and citizen participation, and advocated for investment in national government administration officers to strengthen grassroots level coordination for government policies and programs.
I can't overemphasize the fact that we need to be much more coordinated than we are. Of course, we are doing well, but it is possible to do much more than we are doing in terms of the coordination.
Martin Masharia, Lookuptv.
Now, Milimani Law Court has suspended all activities at a 94-acre farm in Embakasi until the court hears and makes a decision on the legitimate owner. This is after about 230 people claimed ownership of the farm. The petitioners claim that they were not compensated by the Kenya Railways during the construction of the modern SGR railway. They are currently demanding payment of 1 billion shillings. And as Daniel Omayo now files, the case will be heard on the 4th of March.
Peter Odhiambo, the lawyer representing the members of the Dupoto Dafu scheme, has said that they went to the court to make a conjunction to ensure that all the people involved are compensated and encouraged all those who have complained to present them to the court.
Mimi ndio wakili wa members wa Dupoto Dafu settlement scheme. Hawa trustees wenye walipewa, hawa watu wawili wenye wamesimamia ili shamba kwa niaba ya wengine, pokea malipo lakini hawajapeana malipo. Members hawajapata malipo. Kwa hivyo tulienda kotini kusema kwamba haya malipo yasitishwe, yasipeanwe anymore. Kuanzia leo yasipeanwe mpaka watu wote wakuje kotini waeleze court ni kwa nini hawajapeana malipo yenye walipewa na Kenya Railway Corporation na National Land Commission.
Nyamane, who is a victim of the land dispute, said that they have all legal title deeds, although the management of the Dupoto Dafu did not completely involve them when allocating the compensation.
Tumekuwa kwa hiyo shamba, tumekuwa na cheti zetu za hiyo shamba, na wageni wetu wengi wale walituunga na wakatujoin. Sisi hatukuhusishwa wakati wa kwenda kazi ilipokuwa ikigao pesa vile zimeendelea. Watu wengi ambaye walikuwa wana shares wameachwa nje.
The leader of the Matapato clan, Daniel Ntunkai, has raised concerns saying that they were instructed to open an account and register their names in the Kipande house, and in the end they failed to compensate them. Now he asked the government to intervene and end the dispute.
Wakati pesa imetoka, tuliandika majina ya wananchi wote. Unaona hizi certificate, hii ilipeanwa 2008. Wakati yani pesa ilipeanwa 1.2 hapa Kipande house, KCB, kazi ilifanyika, hatukuamini. Na tungependa serikali ingilie kati.
Daniel Omayo, Lookuptv.
Now, President William RUTO on Monday, February 26th, met with his Ugandan counterpart Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and Azimio leader Raila Odinga in Kisozi, Uganda. Among the issues discussed by the trio was the Raila Odinga's candidacy for the African Union Commission chairmanship, where the opposition leader will be seeking the support from the 55 member states to make his bid successful. Furthermore, they discussed ways to deepen the bilateral ties between the two nations on commodities such as energy and petroleum. Forward now, and more than 200 innocent lives have been lost in Samburu Central to bandit attacks in the last 1 year. The latest incident, which of course sent shockwaves through the region, saw the brutal killing of Angata Nanyuki Ward MCA Paul Leshimpiro and a herder. Currently, 6 bodies are at the Maralal Hospital mortuary.
The fight against banditry seems to be a long shot, as the number of those who have died due to the attack continues to rise. Speaking to the journalist in Maralal, as they laid their grievances, Samburu Professional Association strongly condemned the killing of innocent people
calling on the government to take immediate action to intensify security in Samburu County. Victoria Saidimu, Vice Chair Samburu Professional Association, says the heinous act of killing in Samburu being perpetrated by the bandits, the recent killing of Anyata Nanyokie, Ward MCA Paul Shimpiro, and a harder driving the resident to the edge.
We vehemently condemn these heinous acts and the wanton loss of lives and destruction of property at the hands of merciless bandits. The attacks have resulted in the loss of nearly 200 innocent lives in a span of less than 1 year, including Honorable Paul Leshimbaru, a member of the County Assembly of Samburu, who was fatally shot while going home on February 25th. And Mr. Lepatanapa was also shot hours later, the same day, while herding.
Security personnel have been called upon to respect people, despite the tribe calling on the government to conduct investigation to bring perpetrators to book and establish the real cause of atrocities and killings.
Security forces should respect the rights and safety of all citizens, regardless of the background. A stable and secure society demands trust in impartial law enforcement, which benefits everyone. We thus request that the administration communicates clearly and transparently about its efforts to solve the terrible security situation. Number 2, we conduct an independent investigation to evaluate security forces, efficacy, and identify potential biasness. And we call for a transparent and unbiased inquiry into the killings to bring the perpetrators to justice and establish responsibility.
Abdimajid Hussain, Lookuptv.
Now, residents of Karagita Estate in Naivasha, Nakuru County have reason to smile after a water project that is being funded by the World Bank was launched. The multi-million project will iron out water insecurity that has existed for a long time, where the water quality, quantity and access are not enough to protect public health, with area residents unable to access clean, safe and affordable water. This and much more in our news wrap with George Kayesi.
The World Bank has rolled out a multi-million fluoride water project that will benefit residents of one of the largest informal settlements in Naivasha, Nakuru County. The project in Karagita Estate will address the issue of clean water and sanitation, as locals have consumed unclean water for long.
Hii ni maji ambayo inasaidia watu wa Karagita kijiji, at least wakuwe na maji, sababu wamekuwa na uhaba wa maji. Na pia tunaweka, kuna building tunajenga ambayo inawekwa chlorine, itawasaidia kwa clean meno yao ikuwe safi, wasihangaike, wasitumie maji wasema ya kwamba iko na chumvi.
Meanwhile, in Kajiado County, panic has gripped Ilbisil town residents over suspected snake-infested water pan. Agitated parents termed the water pan near local primary school as a time-ticking bomb, considering a large snake was spotted 2 weeks ago, hence posing a danger to school-going children. They are pleading to the county government to step in before more deaths are registered.
Tuko na hofu kubwa sana, kwa sababu watoto wetu wanakuja kuingia katika shimo hili. Shimo hili ni kubwa na ni hatari sana, maana pia kuna nyoka, kuna wanyama wengine, na tunaomba usaidizi wenu tuone vile tutazika hii shimo, kwa sababu ni hatari sana kwa watoto wetu.
Elsewhere, unknown people encroached the compound of politician and businessman Zakaria Baraza and torched down his house in Musikoma village, Bungoma County. The unfortunate incident is believed to be linked to politics, as Baraza has been key vocal against the demolition that took center stage in Bungoma.
Mimi ni ndugu ya Mheshimiwa Zakaria Baraza, na usiku wa manane, saa 6 ya usiku, watu walivamia geti yake, ambao tunaona ni kama ni siasa. Wakakuja wakachoma tires, na kama wengine walikuwa armed wakipiga bunduki kwa hewa.
Finally, in an election mimicking the country's general elections, Lion schools in Embu County are opposed to elect new student council. The school administration sought services from Electoral Commission IEBC to enable students learn and understand democratic process.
I'm the new school president of Lions. Okay, as a president, I didn't know that I'm going to win this election. I really lost my hope, like really. It was a peaceful election. There are no bargaining about things, even though they were some stuff.
George Kayesi, Lookuptv.
Last story by George Kayesi takes us to a second break. We'll be back in a moment with what's making headlines in the world of sports.
Madam tu naomba, kuwa tu patient. Juice zako unapata tu sahi.
Na uharakishe, customers wanangoja. Na this round ulete juice ya kutosha. Manze la semu linaibisha.
Ni sawa, nileta tu chap tu sahi mazi.
Aha, vipi? Uko sawa? Unaitwa nani?
Mimi naitwa Kibe Wanduthi.
In case Loto ikupige boost ya 100k, utafanyia nini?
100k? Ati kiso?
Yes.
Ai, manze, nanunua tu nduthi ingine, ndipo nipate mse mwingine wa kunisaidia kufanya delivery. Tumanze ni kibao tu excess.
Na je, Loto ikikupiga boost ya new Toyota Probox?
What a jokes. A new Toyota Probox. Buda, manze nitakuwa nimejijenga. Nitakuwa nikipiga tu trip moja tu hivi, manze nishafanya delivery zangu zote. Walai.
What about? Jichenge jiboost na Loto.
Anza mwaka na Loto Jijenge Boost. Kila siku kuna guaranteed business boost worth 100,000 na up to 1 million ndani ya hourly draws. Jipange nyumbani na 100,000 shopping vouchers. Boost biashara yako na 1 million or a brand new Toyota Probox kila wiki na up to 200 million shillings ndani ya Grand Mega Jackpot every Wednesday and Saturday. Changamka, jiboost na ujipange na Loto. Ingia M-Pesa Paybill 777-000. Account, look, amount 50 bob to 2,000. Na ujisort na Loto Mega Boost. Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. BCLB number 000898.
Changamka, cheza Loto.
Are you an SME looking for a media partner? Look no more, as Lookuptv got you covered for all your visibility and marketing needs. We at Lookuptv understand your business needs and want to work with you on your marketing journey, giving you solutions that will take you to the next level. Call us today on 0707 572 358 or send an email to sales@lookuptv.co.ke and kickstart this amazing journey. Welcome to Lookuptv, your official SME media partner.
Now, 1,500 meters world record holder Faith Kipyegon has been nominated for the 2024 Lowry Sportswoman Award after an impressive season last year. The 30-year-old broke 3 world records, and she will be competing against Sha'Carri Richardson of the United States of America and, of course, Shericka Jackson from Jamaica. The athletic fraternity, Spanish International and Barcelona FC, beg your pardon for that. And Barcelona FC footballer Aitana Bonmati is also included in the list, among others. In the males category, US sprinter Noah Lyles, Argentine footballer Lionel Messi, Norwegian international footballer Erling Braut Haaland, and of course top-ranked tennis player Novak Djokovic, among others, will be competing for the Lowry Sportsman Award of the Year. Now, Kenya national junior tennis team has jetted out of the country for the African Junior Championships that will be held in Lomé, Togo from the 28th of February to the 2nd of March 2024. The team, led by coach Caroline Oduor, has travelled with Nancy Kawira, Leah Gikunda, Jeff Okumu, Ayan Quadros, among others. Now, after exiting round over 32 matches of the FKF Mozart Bet Cup matches, The round of 16 fixtures are out. Kenya Police will play Mombasa Stars. Defending champions Kakamega Homeboys will tackle Robert Matano's led Tusker FC. Bidco United will lock horns with KCB, among other fixtures. The last 16 matches are scheduled to be played on the 30th and 31st of March this year. Well, that particular story, of course, sports story, brings us to the end of this particular bulletin. Many thanks for, of course, being with us this particular night. I just want to shout out Wycliffe Oyando, who says he's watching us from Kisii, and of course, Kennedy Jumba Asirigwa, who says he's watching us from Likuyani, Kakamega, without forgetting Regina, who says she's watching from Buruburu. Many thanks for, of course, tuning in tonight. See you again tomorrow. That was all that we had for you. Of course, to the team behind the scenes, many thanks for making this happen. Until tomorrow, do have yourself a wonderful night. And like always, God bless.
We value your feedback and welcome your complaints about our programming and operations. Feel free to get in touch with us through 0700 893 542 or send us an email